So this is my son Clayton. You've seen him on the channel, but he hasn't really been directly involved with much of what we've done, except for the fact that his children are here and we love them, and Kelly's teaching them fiddle, and they live in our community right in town with us. He and Courtney moved back. And he's got this laser etching machine. What is this thing?
This is the X-Tool 10 watt. There's a bunch of other numbers attached to it. Kind of a more basic model of the laser engraver, but it's worked great for what I need it for.
And what I need it for is for him to put my logo on the side of these handles. And he's got 100 of them. And I went to bed last night at 11. He started here last night at 10. He works, his job has him working graveyard, and so at his weekend he transitions in and out of a normal schedule. And so we had this thing running in the shop all night, virtually all night. He's come a long ways across this box of hammers. So what have you figured out about etching little bitty letters onto hickory that's been covered with linseed oil, and what have you learned about this that you didn't know last night at 10 o'clock?
Well, one of the things I fear about putting this on the internet is there's going to be a lot more people, a lot more knowledgeable than me on this.
Welcome to my world.
But what's been interesting is, while there is some really impressive detail that this thing can do, the logo is about half an inch in diameter, so it's pretty small, and so it's getting it pretty well done, but just the little micro variations in the wood itself causes it to be not uniform. So while it looks professional-ish, it's clearly not professionally done. But I think that kind of adds to the handmade, homemade aesthetic of the whole thing.
I take a lot of comfort in that on almost everything I do, but yeah, I think they look great, because the fact is, these things are going to live hard lives, and they're going to get covered with dirt and concrete, and yeah, I think they're just perfect. Andrew's made a nice hammer. Clayton's putting on there the logo in a perfectly presentable fashion, and the warning to wear safety glasses seems important. And so we're just going to let him run for the rest of the night, and he'll probably finish it up, I don't know, sometime in the near future. This is Clayton's workspace. It was a storage shed in his backyard, right? Which was welcome when they bought their house here. What, you've been here
3 years?
3 years, okay? And lo and behold, he gets an interest in doing something and fixing things. He needs a place for his tools. He carves out a corner, and now he's got a shop. And he's moved this thing in it. This is a 21st century tool for a craft, right? What have you worked on with this besides the wood handles these guys have already watched?
Well, I've experimented with acrylic and leather. I've carved into my own leather bags and phone cases, and disc golf discs and water bottles, and made magnets, and all sorts of things.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to give these guys a look at some of those things, but was there any kind of hesitation or intimidation before you spent some money that could have gone to something else on a tool for an undetermined application? And how did you overcome that hesitation, and how do you feel about it now?
Well, I think for this tool, particularly as a millennial like me, there's this draw towards maybe mixing modern technology with kind of an not ancient craft, but
engraving. Been around a long time.
It's been around a long time, and benefit is I don't have to work very hard for this. We just type around on a computer and hit go and see what happens.
I don't have to work very hard to hammer steel if it'll go on my power hammer, though, right?
Sure.
So,
yeah, technology just improves, and well, hopefully improves.
Yeah.
But it makes it more efficient and easier, and I think that's what drew me towards this laser in particular. The company markets it for people who want to make things quickly and easily, and that drew me, and it works. There's a lot of cool applications for this.
So are you getting some satisfaction out of this, and you find yourself sort of daydreaming about projects and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. One of the problems with something like this is it's actually pretty accessible financially. I mean, it's not that expensive considering what it can do, and for that reason, the market's pretty saturated. You go on Etsy, and there's thousands of shops that people sell all sorts of things like this. And so initially, I thought maybe as a little side hustle, but primarily for now, it's just been a really fun way to improve other people's lives. I can personalize their water bottles, and I engraved on their iPad cases, and just make little Christmas presents. And
so amen. So you've heard me say before that many times we make things because we have to. But when we enjoy it the most is when we find ourselves doing it because we want to. And usually that value comes from, like you just said, doing it for somebody else. So and your kids are watching you do this.
Oh, yeah.
And they play with the water bottles. And they would love to get a hold of this and break that thing if they could.
They've tried.
Who knows where this is going to lead?
Not I.
That's the message, boys. Got an interest? Try it. You don't need a lot of space. You just need some initiative and some ambition, and to carve out a little time from, I don't know, maybe a video game. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.